Hawk, you're flying below minimum altitude. Abort now.
Negative, sir. I'm not leaving them behind.
The air at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada was heavy with heat and urgency. Inside the command center, radios crackled with static, and the hum of tension filled the room like a storm waiting to break. A Delta Force team was trapped in Redstone Valley, a brutal stretch of desert canyons in northern Arizona, pinned down by a militia group armed with stolen military-grade weapons. The enemy held the high ground, their RPGs and machine guns cutting off any hope of escape. Drones were grounded by sandstorms, and helicopter extractions were impossible without air cover. The Delta team's radio call was faint but desperate. Surrounded. No way out. Need air support now, or we're done. Maps were spread across the table, marked with red lines showing the narrow, jagged terrain. No aircraft could navigate the valley's tight walls without risking a crash. The anti-air threat was too high. Manpads and heat-seeking missiles made the airspace a death trap. Colonel Daniel Harper, a grizzled veteran with 30 years of service, shook his head. We wait for nightfall. Maybe send in a drone swarm if they can hold out. But the Delta team didn't have hours. Their signal was fading fast. Major Evelyn Hawk Ramsey stood at the back of the room, arms crossed, her sharp green eyes scanning the maps. She was 42, a seasoned A-10 Thunderbolt II pilot with a reputation for defying the odds. Her call sign, Hawk, wasn't just a nod to her precision, it was a testament to her refusal to back down. She stepped forward, her voice calm but resolute. I'll fly it. The room froze. A lieutenant muttered, she's nuts. Another officer smirked, thinking she was joking. But Evelyn's face was unyielding. Colonel Harper stared at her. Ramsey, that's below minimum safe altitude. You'd be flying blind, under radar, with cliffs on both sides. One wrong move, and you're a fireball. I've flown Redstone before, she said evenly. During the Black Mesa drills. I know the valley's curves. If I hug the walls and ride the thermals, I can make it. Harper shook his head. You dip too low, you clip a wing. We lose you, the plane, and any chance of saving those men. With respect, sir, Evelyn replied, stepping closer. They're already dead if we wait. I can give them a shot. Silence fell. A captain whispered. Even Delta said it couldn't be done. Evelyn's gaze didn't waver. They don't know me. It wasn't bravado, it was conviction, forged through years of missions that pushed her to the edge. Every pilot had a limit, but Evelyn's was lower than most. Literally. Harper exhaled, his voice low. If we greenlight this, you're solo. No wingman can follow you in there. She nodded. I don't need one. The crew chiefs scrambled to prep her A-10, nicknamed Iron Angel, for its battered but unbreakable frame. The Warthog's titanium armor and Gu-8 Avenger cannon capable of firing 4,000 rounds per minute made it a legend for close air support. But this mission was beyond even its limits. They checked fuel, flares, ammunition, and hydraulics, leaving no room for error. As Evelyn climbed into the cockpit, a young mechanic handed her a patch with Hawk stitched in silver thread. Heard about your Yuma run, he said, grinning. 20 feet off the deck, dodged a Sam. You're a legend. Classified, she said with a half-smile. You talk too much. He shrugged. We don't talk. We worship. The canopy closed, and the world went quiet. Her hands moved across the controls, fuel steady, flaps responsive, cannon armed. Ready for takeoff. The tower responded. Hawk 1, cleared for heading 270. Godspeed, Major. The A-10's twin turbofans roared as it surged down the runway, kicking up dust like a desert storm. Within minutes, Evelyn vanished into the horizon, leaving only silence and the weight of hope behind her. Evelyn Ramsey wasn't born a legend. Growing up in a small Nebraska town, she'd been the daughter of a crop duster, watching her father thread his plane through fields and storms. At 18, she joined the Air Force, one of 3 women in her training squadron at Laughlin Air Force Base, Texas. The instructors didn't hide their doubts. Too slight for the cockpit, one said. Needs to toughen up, another muttered. But Evelyn flew harder, studied longer, and outmaneuvered her peers. Her first time in an A-10 was like meeting a kindred spirit, ugly, loud, and unstoppable. She made it dance, earning her stripes through sweat and skill. Her call sign came during a training mishap over the Rockies. A rookie pilot's engine failed in a blizzard, and Evelyn, then a lieutenant, dropped to dangerous altitudes to guide him back, her wing grazing a pine tree. After landing, a tech sergeant called her Hawk for her sharp instincts. The name stuck, cemented in combat over a rock, where she strafed enemy positions just yards from friendly troops. Every mission built her legend, but also her resolve to prove she belonged. Now, in Redstone Valley, the canyon walls loomed like a trap. Evelyn dropped to 300 feet, the A-10's nose pointed down, rocky cliffs blurring past her canopy. Sweat beaded on her neck as thermals buffeted her wings. She thought of the Delta team brothers in arms who'd risked everything. This wasn't just a mission, it was a debt repaid. Hawk to Bravo team, she radioed. Inbound. Hold on. Static crackled, then a voice. Hawk, you're crazy. She smiled. Yeah, but I'm coming. The valley narrowed, walls closing in. She flew below radar, under the sun's glare, where no pilot wanted to be. The warthog groaned with each turn, its armor holding as she threaded the needle. At 250 feet, her altimeter screamed. She ignored it, spotting enemy positions on the ridgeline RPGs and machine guns aimed at the Delta team. She flicked off the cannon's safety, her targeting system glitching from heat and altitude. Manual it is, she muttered, centering the gun camera. She squeezed the trigger. The GU-8 roared, shredding the ridge with depleted uranium rounds. Flames erupted, rocks shattered, and the enemy scattered. Below, the Delta team cheered. Splash 1, she called. But she wasn't done. Banking left, she dove lower, her wingtip meters from the canyon wall. The enemy wasn't used to air support flying below them. She processed threats RPGs, heat signatures, bunkers her hands steady, every move calculated. Bravo team, extraction routes opening, she radioed. I'll clear the path. A gritty voice replied. Understood, Hawk. Moving now. The terrain grew tighter, walls closing like jaws. At 150 feet, warning lights flashed altitude, heat, proximity. She silenced them, relying on instinct. The Delta team moved through the creek bed, trusting her to keep the enemy at bay. She spotted a second ridge with insurgents, one raising a man-pads. No flares left. She didn't hesitate. Nosing the A-10 down, she accelerated straight at him. The roar of her engines froze him. She buzzed the ridge so low her landing gear skimmed the ground. The insurgent fell back, his weapon useless. Threat neutralized, she panted. But her A-10 was struggling, fuel at 40%, hydraulics leaking, left engine sputtering. Hawk, this is command, the radio crackled. Damage indicators critical. Return to base. She gritted her teeth. Negative. Bravo's not clear yet. 2 technicals pickup trucks with machine guns raced toward the extraction route. She dove again, aligning her cannon. The first truck exploded, the second crashed into a boulder. Convoy threat down, she said. Chinooks, you're clear. A final threat emerged, an insurgent with a second man-pads, aiming for the Chinooks. Her cannon jammed. Heart pounding, she dove at the cave entrance, her wingtips shearing rock. The downwash knocked the fighter flat. Threat neutralized, she gasped. The Chinooks cleared the valley, cheers erupting inside. Hawk, we owe you, the Delta leader said. She circled once more, guarding the skies until they were safe. Her A-10 limped back to Nellis, fuel at 7%, left engine barely alive. Fire trucks and medics lined the runway as she landed hard, tires screaming, no flaps or brakes. She skidded to a stop, steam hissing from the engines. Climbing out, sweat-soaked and silent, she dropped to her knees, exhausted but alive. The crew stared, one clapping slowly, 2 stunned to cheer. The Delta team, safe in the Chinooks, found her by the hangar. Their leader, a weathered master sergeant, saluted her. You didn't just save us. You owned that valley. Evelyn managed a tired smile. It hit back. He laughed. Not hard enough. The mission replay stunned the ops center. Evelyn had flown at 62 feet lower than any A-10 pilot in combat history, neutralizing 4 ridgelines and over 30 insurgents solo. But the Pentagon wasn't pleased. A liaison called her reckless, citing broken protocols. Evelyn stood firm. I'd rather break rules than write condolence letters. The room fell silent. Whispers spread across Nellis pilots, shared helmet cam footage. Delta operators uploaded her engine roar tearing through the cliffs. Online, the story exploded. Forums called her the Angel of Redstone. A viral video showed her A-10 streaking over the valley, captioned, "This is what courage looks like." T-shirts appeared with 62 feet, no fear. But the Air Force grounded her, pending review. In her quarters, a junior officer slipped her a USB drive with her flight data, 62 feet, for 110 knots, manual overrides. It was unprecedented. The manuals listed 100 feet as the minimum safe altitude. She'd rewritten history. At a congressional hearing in Washington, D.C., Evelyn faced a review board. A senator praised her but questioned her defiance. "I flew because no one else could," she said. Another asked, "What if you'd crashed?" She replied, "Then I'd have died trying." A female general, a former pilot, smiled faintly. "You're dangerous and necessary." The case closed quietly, no punishment, no medal. But her story wouldn't stay silent. A 12-year-old girl from Ohio sent a letter. "Dear Major Ramsey, I want to be a pilot. My friends say girls can't fight. I tell them you did. You're my hero. Lily." Evelyn read it, her heart shifting. Maybe her flight meant more than survival. Back at Nellis, she was offered roles: desk job, academy speaker, or combat trainer. She chose the skies, designing the Hawk Flight program, a grueling low-altitude combat course for all pilots. It blended instinct with precision, teaching them to read terrain like a map and fly where fear lived. Her motto: fly low, fly smart, fly for those who can't. Years later, Redstone Valley was a legend among pilots. Evelyn, now a colonel, spoke at the Air Force Academy. "Flying isn't just rules," she told cadets. "It's knowing when they don't apply." "I flew low to save lives and break barriers." A young female cadet approached her, eyes bright. "We call it Hawk Flight because of you." Evelyn smiled. It wasn't just a program, it was a movement. On a final sortie over Redstone Valley, her patched-up A-10 roared low, the canyons unchanged but the skies wider. Women were no longer outliers in combat aviation, they were the standard. Evelyn's flight had changed the rules, opened doors, and inspired a generation. As she landed, she whispered, "Still here, still flying." Her legacy wasn't in medals or headlines. It was in every pilot who flew lower, faster, smarter because Hawk had shown them how.